Did you know that one of Britain's most puzzling cold cases actually has a shocking American connection? Stick around, because today we're diving into the tangled, haunting story of Jessie Earl, a young woman who seemingly vanished without a trace, only to reappear under bone-chilling circumstances. If you think you know missing persons cases, prepare for some real-life twists that might just make you question everything. Hey there, welcome back to Factual America, the channel where we talk about the most captivating true stories from America, and sometimes, as you'll see today, beyond. If you're into mysteries, history, and stories that challenge what you thought you knew, you're in the right place. Today, we're exploring the disappearance and later the mysterious reappearance of Jessie Earl. It's a case that stumped detectives for decades, and believe me, you don't want to miss a single detail. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's unravel this mystery together. To set the stage, it's May 1980. Britain's coast, the South Downs near Eastbourne, is coming to life with spring. 22-year-old Jessie Earl, a bright art student with a knack for painting, is living alone in a tiny bedsit, which is British for a small rented room, just a short walk from the ocean. Jessie was known for her gentle, thoughtful personality and her love of the outdoors. She was also fiercely independent, something that stood out at the time. And then, without warning, Jessie disappears. She'd been writing to her parents, and everything seemed normal. No big plans, no mention of meeting up with anyone. One day, she just didn't show up for an appointment. Her concerned parents went to her flat and found the door locked. When police entered, Jessie's personal belongings, including her purse and her favorite jewelry, were still there. But the one thing missing was a 3-foot-long pink cord she often used as a belt. At first, police figured Jessie was probably just off on a solo adventure, as young people sometimes do. There was no sign of a struggle, no evidence of foul play, and here's the key detail: nobody saw anything unusual. For 9 long years, her case went nowhere. Her family was left hanging, forced to endure the agony of not knowing. Jump ahead to 1989. A hiker wandering the overgrown gullies of Beachy Head's cliffs, a place notorious for its fog and mystery, stumbles across human remains. Police quickly identify them as Jessie's via dental records. Here's where things get strange. Her bones are found lying on open ground, partially covered by the underbrush. But virtually no clothing is found except for that pink cord, tightly knotted and wrapped near her skeleton. The official inquest, surprisingly, ruled her death as unexplained. They didn't definitively call it a homicide, which shattered her family. The coroner claimed there wasn't enough evidence for a murder verdict due to the condition of the remains. But the presence of that distinctive belt raised 1,000 red flags. Jessie's mother, Valerie, fought for years to reopen and reclassify the investigation. She knew her daughter, a careful, cautious person, wouldn't just walk away from her life. So how does this British case tie into America? Here's the twist. In the decades since, chilling similarities have been drawn between Jessie's disappearance and a string of unsolved murders in the U.S., specifically those connected to serial killers who targeted women in coastal areas. Patterns like vanishing without a trace, quick police dismissals, and evidence left at the scene ring familiar for any true crime buff in the States. And there's another jaw-dropper. At least one possible American suspect lived in the area briefly and may have crossed paths with Jessie. While police have never confirmed his involvement, it speaks to how these mysteries aren't always local. They can span continents, hop the Atlantic, and remain unsolved for decades. Years went by. The case seemed destined to stay cold. But Jessie's story didn't fade. Her family refused to let her memory be forgotten. In 2022, after a new push from her supporters and shocking new forensic insights, her death was finally declared a likely homicide. The authorities admitted that the original investigation missed key evidence, including the meaning of that pink belt and the way her remains were found. And just like that, a nearly 40-year-old case was revived. Now, here's the part that always gives me chills. Jessie's body reappeared in almost the same condition as when she'd vanished, with that cord as a silent clue. Experts now believe Jessie didn't die where she was found. Her killer may have hidden her remains for years before returning to Beachy Head. Was someone taunting investigators? Or did they simply become careless? We may never know. But that eerie reappearance is why her disappearance and reappearance is still discussed in both British and American true crime circles today. What can we learn from cases like Jessie Earl's? First, it shows us how easily important evidence can be overlooked, especially when young women go missing, painful as that is to admit. It also reminds us how tenacity, in this case, the love of a mother who refused to give up, can finally bring some measure of justice decades later. And finally, for those of us fascinated by mysteries, it's a lesson in how global these stories can be. Sometimes the answer isn't just across the street, it's across the ocean. But the biggest mystery of all? To this day, no one has ever been charged in connection with Jessie's death. We still don't know who took her life, why they returned her remains, or whether other victims might be connected. It's a riddle wrapped in tragedy, and it's a story that still deserves answers. So now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Jessie's killer was a serial offender who traveled between the UK and the US? Have you heard of any similar cases on this side of the Atlantic? Drop your theories and thoughts in the comments below. And if you appreciate deep dives into real mysteries like this one, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, and join the Factual America community. Your support helps us bring you more stories that deserve attention. Thanks so much for watching and for helping us unravel the world's strangest, most compelling true crime cases, one story at a time. Until next time, keep questioning the facts, stay curious, and never stop looking for the truth.